Good morning. Please rise for the invocation. Thank you. The graduation day is declared open, and now it gives me immense pleasure to be part of this August gathering, offering my hearty welcome to one and all. Let me start with this little saying where it goes: education leads to confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. So this is a gathering where we have on the stage people who have realized that the confidence they got out of the education and the hope and the peace that is prevailing in them and the surrounding that they are in. So my heartiest welcome to Professor Mohan Munasinghe for having made it, accepting our invitation and come all the way from Sri Lanka, and a great erudite who is a scholar and a Nobel laureate. We are very happy to have you here, Professor Munasinghe, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And it gives me immense pleasure welcoming a woman who has achieved in her own field of manufacturing, Mrs. Shubha Kumar, who is here as an achiever. When in a world of manufacturing where it is more male-dominated, she has really been a very successful manufacturer and a person with very good solid education in engineering, coming here to share her thoughts with you, children who are here, who are just stepping into this world out there. Thank you very much, Shubha. And my hearty welcome to our principal, Dr. Murugesh, Professor Subaya, and other heads of departments, and our Vice Chair, Mr. Abe, and other esteemed members of the faculty, dear parents, and my dear I don't want to call you all as students. You were our students, but you'll continue to be our alumni. And I'm very, very happy to see you all back here and welcoming you, because I welcomed all of you maybe 4 or 5 years back when you stepped into this institution, and you all came with several thoughts about what is this institution going to give me, how am I going to get out successfully, and what am I going to achieve. I suppose this is the day that is affirming that you got what you wanted, and I'm hoping that you got little more than what you expected. With these words, I welcome one and all, including the press here. Thank you very much. I now welcome our principal to read the activities of the college. Over to the principal.
It is with immense pleasure I present the annual report of Rajalakshmi Engineering College for the academic year 2022-23. The college was established in the year 1997 by Rajalakshmi Educational Trust, headed by Mr. S. Meghanathan, a mechanical engineer by profession and a very successful industrialist, ably administered by Dr. Mrs. Thangam Meghanathan, an educationist and an acknowledged career guidance advisor, and Mr. Abhay Shankar, a postgraduate from Syracuse University, USA, a dynamic leader, well-versed in planning the continuous growth of the institution, consistently growing with very high level of performance in all aspects over 20 years since its inception. The college received autonomous status from University Grants Commission in the year 2017-18. We are currently offering 19 undergraduate programs, 9 postgraduate programs in engineering, technology and management with the total student strength of 8,817 in the current academic year 23-24. 10 of our departments are recognized research centers of Anna University offering PhD degrees. So far, 107 scholars have secured PhD degree through these centers, and presently 174 scholars are pursuing PhD in the areas of current development under the guidance of 80 PhD supervisors. Accreditation and recognition for REC. The Internal Quality Assurance Cell of the college regularly assesses the progress of all the activities and present the details as per the guidelines of National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC. In the recent visit, the college is accredited by NAC with the highest A++ grade. The college is also accredited by Tata Consultancy Services, Wipro Technologies, CTS and Hindustan Computers Limited for campus recruitment. All the eligible 12 programs are accredited by National Board of Accreditation. The college is recognized as the Scientific and Industrial Research Organization by DSIR, Government of India. Governing body and academic council of the college. The governing body and the academic council of the college consisting of experts having illustrious experience from renowned academic institutions and industries reviews all the major activities of the institution and provide guidance for the overall growth of the institution. College achievements. RAC has secured 86th rank in 2023 in the National Institutional Ranking Framework of Ministry of Education, Government of India among all the engineering institutions across the country. Among all the private institutions, RAC is placed at 8th position at All India level in the DataQuest ranking for the year 2023. Large number of faculty members and students are regularly taking up additional online courses from NPTEL. Based on their excellent performance, the college has been ranked at 30th position in 2023. 2 international conferences, one on embracing biotechnology for sustainable future and another on power electronics and renewable energy systems, and 2 national conferences on sustainable business practices and the other on recent advances in mechanical sciences were conducted successfully during the year 2023 by the respective departments. Centers of Excellence. Rajalakshmi Engineering College has very effectively functioning 16 Centers of Excellence on machine vision, MEMS and microfluidics, digital manufacturing, computational fluid dynamics, renewable energy, sustainable construction material, data science, embedded technology, IoT, biofilm, medical imaging, food product development and process design, high-speed jet flows, assistive technologies, and process excellence. REC AICT Idea Lab. Recently, the REC AICT Idea Lab has been established with a wide range of modern tools, components, and equipment, including 3D printing and 3D scanning facilities under one roof. The graduating students gain experience in designing, fabricating, and testing new products and become industry ready. The Isaac Asimov Robotics Center, established recently, gives students hands-on experience in designing, building, programming, and testing of bots for a wide variety of applications. Memorandum of Understandings. This year also, 17 MOUs have been signed with several leading companies and universities abroad to pursue collaborative activities, student internship, and faculty sabbatical, etc. With all these modern infrastructure facilities, REC has recently launched a mission of achieving 25 startups incubation in the emerging areas before the end of the year 2024. Student academic performance and achievements in technical competitions. Out of the 1,670 UG students admitted in 2018, 1,618 have been qualified for degrees in 13 different disciplines, with 530 students securing first class with distinction. In the midst of rigorous schedule of classwork and examinations, our students regularly participate in the national and international level technical competitions and paper presentation and win awards. To mention a few, a team of 6 students from AIML and CSBS have become the winner of Smart India Hackathon 2023 with a cash prize of 1 lakh, conducted by Government of India for promoting problem-solving ability among the engineering students. In a national level drone development competition organized by SAE India, held in July 2023, REC students won first place in innovation in micro drone category. A team of 20 students from the Department of Automobile Engineering and Electronics and Communication Engineering secured Best Four-Wheel Drive Award in national level competition conducted by Society of Automotive Engineers at Pithampur. A batch of biotechnology students won gold medal in the international contest iGEM 2022 conducted in Paris. Also, the team won track award, making REC to be the first Indian institution to receive this prestigious award. 3 students of third year ECE won the overall trophy in the event E-Star 2022 held by EDC cell of Amity Global Business School in September 2022. Mr. Durai Arasu of 4th year ECE won the Best Student Project Award in October 2023 for his project on video presentation in the prestigious IEEE Asia Pacific Regional Contest. A team from Civil Engineering won a cash prize of Rs 50,000 in a national level RDC Concrete Mix Design Competition conducted by Indian Concrete Institute held at IIT Madras in November 2023. Ms. Kirtana and Mr. Hayagrivan of CSC won a cash prize of Rs 2 lakh in the National E-Waste Hackathon organized by Pollution Control Board of Government of Maharashtra. Tamil Arasin of 4th year Biomedical Engineering has secured 8th rank in the All India GATE 2023. Faculty achievements. In this academic year, 29 members of faculty have obtained their PhD degree, bringing the total number of PhD holders to 192. Dr. V. Murali Bhaskaran, Dean Academic, received Outstanding Dean in Higher Education Award in the Higher Education Summit organized by ELETS Technomedia in October 2022. Dr. Sendal Murugan of Mechanical Engineering received IRSD International Pre-Eminent Young Aspirant Award 2022 in September 2022 at Mahatma Gandhi State Institute for Public Administration, Punjab. Dr. Sivamani, Department of Chemical Engineering, received a Best Paper Award in the International Conference on Functional Material and its Applications held in September 2023 at SciMed School of Engineering, Chennai. Dr. R. Gayatri of ECE secured Best Faculty Award at ITSR Foundation Award 2023 organized by Institution of Engineers, India. Dr. Asha of ECE received Best Researcher Award in the International Research Award on Internet of Things and its Application in March 2023. Dr. Saranya of ECE received Excellence in Innovation during International Research Award on Communication and Media Studies in July 2023. Dr. Uday Kumari of Chemistry is ranked at top 2% most influential scientists worldwide based on citation and H index as published by Stanford University for 2023. Dr. El Priya, Professor IT, received a Lifetime Award 2022 from the Institute of Researchers of Kerala. Research activities. Several sponsored research projects have been sanctioned by national agencies such as DST, BRNS, ASCTE for our faculty members. To mention major ones, Dr. Geeta and Dr. Selva Kumar of Civil Engineering received 46 lakhs from DST for their projects on nanocomposites. Dr. Sujata of ECE received rupees 6 lakhs from Board of Research in Nuclear Science for her project on MEMS hydrogen sensors. Dr. Jayadurga of Mathematics received 21 lakhs from DST for her project on special purpose sampling procedures. Dr. Nivedita, Dr. Ram Lakshmi, Arudra Devi of Foodtech and Dr. Priya of IT received rupees 70 lakhs under Science and Heritage Research Initiatives of DST for their projects on potential use of millet as a mitigate for micronutrient deficiency. Dr. Mullari Sudaruli of Automobile Engineering secured a funding of rupees 42 lakhs from DST for her project on fuel cell stack for low power application. Consultancy activities. In order to promote consultancy activities in emerging areas, an Industry Institute Interaction Cell has been formulated at RAC. These consultancy projects span diverse domains, including web publication for enhancing production in shop floors, machine vision solution for quality inspection in the assembly line, MEMS fabrication for biosensors and lab on chip, Internet of Things for enabling smart features, and the list continues. Since June 2022, a total of 14 projects have been completed and 18 are being pursued currently with a revenue generation of 104 lakhs. Recognized as the host institution by Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, REC motivates young entrepreneurs by providing infrastructure and funding support. Recently, 4 ideas of REC faculty and students have been selected for further implementation by MSME with a funding of 1.36 crores. Publication and patents. Our faculty members show innate interest in research activities and publications. A total of 492 papers in reputed international and national journals and conferences and 35 book chapters have been published in the calendar year 2023. This includes 383 papers in Scopus, 146 in SCIE categories. As a testimony to the innovative ecosystem promoted in our campus, our students and faculty members have secured 34 patents in this academic year, bringing the total number to 48. Furthermore, 205 patents filed under various stages of review. International relations. A team of 6 students with faculty members visited UT Dallas, Texas in June 2022. 2 students have undergone internship at TU Berlin, Germany in February 2023. REC, in collaboration with Masha University, Malaysia, organized an international conference in October 2023. Another international conference is scheduled in April 2024. From this academic year, REC is offering a twinning program in BE Computer Science and Engineering in collaboration with Binghamton University, USA for the batch joined in 2023. Students opting for this program will study their first 3 years at REC and their 4th year in Binghamton University, USA. New facilities created. The digital classroom facilities with lecture capturing features and smart boards have been further strengthened, and there are 65 such classrooms available in our campus. Several major equipments worth of 4.97 crores have been purchased and installed in the college, which includes UHPLC, laboratory fermenter, double beam UV spectrophotometer, Celeron system, ultra deep freezer, RT-PCR equipment, computerized UTM, 3D printers and 3D scanner facilities. A 5 kilowatt panel has been installed and connected to the main grid. The Department of Civil Engineering purchased the latest surveying equipments, including digital theodolite, digital Tumpy level, and total stations. The Department of Computer Science and Engineering added 4 high-end servers with 429 desktop computers, which includes 35 iMac systems. Highlights of training and placement activities. The training department conducted various training programs in this academic year also. placement details. In the academic year 22-23, more than 310 companies, both core as well as software, took part in the recruitment of our 2023 batch students. These include several multinational companies such as TCS, CTS, Walmart Labs, Hyundai Motors, Bosch Limited. A total of 1,661 placement offers were received for this batch. Alumni cell and alumni activities. The alumni cell of REC ensures a strong networking platform for alumni, and the cell holds annual meetings in the campus. Large number of alumni happily respond, leading to sharing of experience, achievements, and planning overall alumni and institutional success. Students' extracurricular activities. In the autonomous program, personality and character development course is now a part of the curriculum. So students get an opportunity to connect with the society through the activities pursued by NSS, YRC, Enactus, Rotaract, EDC, Young Indian Club, the Literary Club, Debating Union, Yal Tamil Mandram and Ethics Club have also conducted many events. In the field of fine arts, the musical band of our college, Unison, has won several laurels in many competitions conducted across the state. Sports and games. REC has a very talented student teams, both in sports and games, both men and women. They have won several awards in this academic year 22-23 also. On this momentous occasion, I wish to thank all the stakeholders. I thank the management of Rajalakshmi Engineering College for the generous support and valuable guidance. All my esteemed colleagues, both in faculty and administration, for offering their fullest cooperation with renewed vigor in the present autonomous status. And my dear students, for their excellent performance in academic and enormous interest in co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Dear graduates, you have all acquired knowledge and expertise in the chosen discipline during your stay at REC. Now you are entering into your professional career with confidence. On this occasion, I would like to quote a Thirukural. Vallum Vagayan Aravinai Ovade Sellum Vai Ellam Seyal. It means you go ahead, contribute to your organization and society and climb the ladder of success. But never stay away from the path of righteousness. Wish you all great success. Next, introduction of the chief guest. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, the distinguished graduating batch of 2022. It is truly an honor and privilege to stand before you today to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Mogan Munasinghe, a visionary scholar and a Nobel laureate. His academics, he received a BA and MA from University of Cambridge. Thereafter, he gained a SM and PE in electrical engineering from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT Boston in 1970. PhD in solid state physics from McGill University in 1973. MA in development economics from Concordia University in 1975. In addition, he has received several honorary doctorates from various prestigious universities across the world. Professor Munasinghe is the author of over 120 scholarly books and about 400 technical papers in well-known scientific journals on wide variety of topics, positions held and professional experience. Presently, he is founder chairman, Munasinghe Institute for Development Mind and Mind Group, Colombo. Chairman, Presidential Expert Commission on Sustainable Sri Lanka 2030 Vision and Strategic Path. Distinguished guest professor at Peking University, China. Honorary senior advisor to the government of Sri Lanka. International board member of Global Roundtable, Brussels. President Emeritus and founder of the Sri Lankan Energy Managers Association. Previously, he was Senior Advisor and Manager, World Bank, Washington, D.C. Chancellor, International Water Academy, Oslo, Advisor to US President's Council on Environmental Quality, Senior Advisor, Energy and Information to the President of Sri Lanka, Founder Chairman, Computer Science and Information Council, and served on the Presidential Commission that formed the National Telecommunication Policy for Sri Lanka. Board Member, Natural Resources, Energy and Science Authority of Sri Lanka, and the list continues. He is well known for his transdisciplinary thinking, for his introduction of new ideas such as Sustainomics, MCG, that is Millennium Consumption Goals, Sustainable Consumption and Production, and many others. His research findings and their applications have contributed to two major international achievements in 2015. The UN Sustainable Development Goals, popularly called SDG, and the UNFCCC COP21 Paris Agreement on Climate. Awards and honors. Dr. Mogan Munasinghe received the 2007 Nobel Prize for Peace for his seminal work on integrating global climate change policies into sustainable development strategy. He received the 2021 Blue Planet Prize for his exceptional contribution to the global environment and sustainability. In the year 2019, the highest national honor of Sri Lanka, known as Honor of Desamania, for his meritorious contribution to Sri Lanka. In 2017, the highest French decoration, Officer of the National Order of a Legion of Honor. In 2016, he received the top World Energy Award from the Energy Globe Foundation, Vienna. In 2015, he received 3 major accolades. In 2014, he received the Eminence Engineering Award for Lifetime Achievement by Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. Paucity of time, I am stopping this. And the list continues. He is a fellow of several renowned academies across the world. He has a rich teaching experience of over 40 years, having taught at leading universities in Sri Lanka, Canada, UK, US, Germany, and in many other countries. So far, he has launched 7 startups with entrepreneurs in the areas like sustainable development, climate change, and digital technology. As we stand on the cusp of a new chapter in our lives, let us draw inspiration from the extraordinary journey of Professor Dr. Mogan Munasinghe. May his commitment to sustainability, coupled with multidisciplinary approach, serve as a guiding light for all the graduating class of 2022, inspiring each one of you to make meaningful contribution to the world that desperately needs you. That is the tagline of our institution, REC. Now, I invite the chief guest, Dr. Mogan Munasinghe, to deliver his graduation day address.
No, should I not? You're going to connect. Ayubowan from Sri Lanka. Vanakkam, greetings. It is my great privilege and pleasure to address this distinguished audience, eminent colleagues and Madam Chair, the graduates and alumni and other students, and of course the proud parents. I will try to provide some insights to young engineering graduates exploring their corporate and research careers. Thank you very much for inviting me to this beautiful city of Chennai, and best wishes to a great school, the Rajalakshmi Engineering College, on your 22nd graduation day. So we'll start about sustainable development by asking what are the problems we face, the problems that young graduates today will face. We have poverty and inequality, we have resource shortages, energy, water, food, we have problems with the financial sector, we have unexpected shocks. For example, COVID-19 was totally unexpected. We have conflicts going on, which unfortunately are made by human beings, but should not be. And I must say that we have weak leadership at the global level. So then when you have all these existing problems, on top of it comes climate change, which is a threat multiplier. It makes all the other problems worse. So these problems are all working together. But unfortunately, we, the stakeholders, 8 billion people on this planet, are disunited. We should also work together. There must be more leadership, and I'm going to show you in my presentation that Asia is a source of leadership for the 21st century. Also, I think people, you, I, other people can move mountains. They can take decisive action, not only as individuals, but also at the mid-level. Communities. Rajalakshmi Engineering College is an academic community. You can do much for sustainability. City mayors, company CEOs, and so on. Let's take a quick look at the resource situation. There is a concept called the ecological footprint of humanity, which is the sum total of resources we are using as a human race. Now in 2012, we needed 1.5 planets to sustainably support our lifestyles. 1.5 planets. By 2030, with current trends, we will need 2 planets, and we don't have 2 planets, unfortunately. If you look at the question of who is doing all the consumption, you also see an odd pattern. This is the infamous champagne glass, which says that 85% of global consumption is run by the top 20% of the richest people in the world, most of them in the Western countries, but also many affluent people in the developing countries as well. They are consuming 60 or 70 times more per capita than the lowest 20 percentile. There are almost 1 billion people starving. And just imagine that 1% of the richest people in the planet own more than 99% of the rest of us. The 1% of the richest emit 175 times more greenhouse gas per capita than the poorest. And the list goes on and on about inequality. But one of the worst, that global military expenditures are more than 2 trillion, that is $2,000 billion. But aid for the poor is only 160 billion. less than 1/10. So money is spent on destruction, not on helping the poor. Now, if you put those two slides together at the top, you'll see that the rich are already using more than one planet worth. So there are obviously not enough resources to help the poor. This is why we have 75 years of unmet goals and broken promises. In 1947, there was the famous UN Declaration of Human Rights. And this is a very fine document. But if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, all the 17 goals were present in the original document of 1947. So you can well ask, what progress have we made if we are repeating the same goals 75 years later? If you look at resources, there are 9 key types of resources. 6 of the boundaries for safe use of those resources, for example, climate or land use or fresh water, they are already exceeded. So we are using more than we can sustainably use. Only in 3 areas are we within the limits. If you look at what the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, where I have worked for more than 30 years, what they have said that global warming is proven, okay? It is human emissions that have caused changes in the climate. The most important take-home message for us in the global south is that climate change, the impacts will come mostly on the poor. We need climate justice because most of the emissions have been put there by the rich countries, but it is the poor countries in the future who will suffer the worst consequences. But there is, and I will explain to you, some hope. The work of the IPCC, for which actually we received the Nobel Prize, and I shared that with other colleagues. I did not win it myself. If we follow the Sustainable Development Goals and try to solve the problems, the many problems of sustainable development, we can also take care of climate change at the same time. So, for the young graduates, I'm saying whatever you're pursuing as research is a contribution, because we have to advance on a broad front. No area is more important than the other. That's why you have 17 goals, not just one. So how do we move forward to solve this? In 1992, at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, I presented a framework called Sustainomics and something called Balanced Inclusive Green Growth. These will help to implement the Sustainable Development Goals, and I'll quickly tell you some of the core concepts. The first core concept is this triangle. It says that you can look at any topic, including poverty, climate change, but also sustainable development, in terms of 3 elements. Economic, because we need economic growth to help the poor. Environment, because in the process of growing rich, we don't want to destroy the air, the land, and the water. And the social side, that we must share the prosperity well. If you unpack this triangle, then you get the Sustainable Development Goals, which is the recent one. And shown here, what we have to understand, this global vision cannot be achieved unless we work together. It is a holistic framework. You will see that climate change is number 13, but it is only one of 17 goals. And I believe that Asia, led by India, will lead the way towards this world vision of peace and prosperity. And I would tell you also that to do this, we need three kinds of assets. We need the economic assets, the roads, the bridges, all the beautiful buildings on this campus. So we need those economic assets. We need the natural capital, air, the land, and the water. But we also need social capital, which I see in abundance in the room in front of me. These are, at the individual level, at the community level, the values, the beliefs, and the glue that binds society together. And one of the most important aspects is ethics, which is highlighted in your vision statement of REC. The second core concept is equally important. It means that we are not helpless. It's empowerment. Do not wait for leaders or government to tell you what to do. You are actuated. It's like climbing a mountain. Sustainable development is the peak, but it's covered with clouds we don't quite know. But if we keep walking uphill one step at a time, we will reach the peak. Because many activities that we do may be unsustainable. So when we leave a room, we switch off the light, we can turn off a tap, we can plant a tree, many things. And also, we can do it at the corporate level. You have CSR, you have ESG, sustainability accounting, many things we can do as individuals, as groups, as countries to walk the path of sustainability. The third core concept is what is going on in our minds. This is why education is so important, which is also the reason why REC is doing such a great job producing fine graduates like yourself. The very first thing that we have to keep in mind is values. We must replace unsustainable, unethical values. But we also have to think in terms of multiple disciplines. And what I will explain, conduct what we call transdisciplinary analysis. That is not engineering alone, not medicine alone, not law alone, but all of those together, combined to solve the problems of sustainability. And to be an institution of excellence in engineering, technology and management, education and research, this vision is very important and also provide competent and ethical professionals with a concern for society. Just if you think of the world today, it is often driven by unethical social values like greed and selfishness, violence. Unfortunately, this value system has created a model not of economic development, but economic maldevelopment. So that's why you have lots of poverty, you have excessive consumption by the rich, you have poverty and so on. And that has resulted in what we call the environmental debt, which is we are overusing the environmental resources, not leaving enough for the future generations. And the sustainable development space is always shrinking. So to break this triangle, we must start with the unethical values and change those. We need to, as I said, transcend disciplines, because the problems of sustainability on the left-hand side require all of the disciplines on the right-hand side. And notice that REC's strong areas, the core areas of management and engineering, are very important, because you can build on your basic core skills to actually work with others, to learn some of the concepts from the other disciplines. So excel in your field, but also develop a broader vision for sustainability. And we also have this sustainability implementation triangle. That is, ultimately, as engineers, we implement. You need business and civil society to work with government, sometimes to push the government to do the right thing. You need that triangle. And business in particular, I believe that business is not part of the problem necessarily, it is part of the solution. Very important. The fourth core concept is very easy. It just says implement, implement, implement. And as engineers, this should be very easy because we are taught that when we are shown a problem, we look for a solution. We are very practical people. Now, let me look at implementation pathways, because for every community and every country, we don't have the same path. If you look here, this is a very simple diagram. You have greenhouse gas emissions on the vertical axis, which is the environmental status. On the horizontal axis, you have economic development, which is measured by GDP per capita. Now, if you're a poor country, you are at the point A, which means you are poor in GDP, but your emissions are also low. If you're a rich country, you're at point C. You are rich, of course, but you are emitting well above the safe limit for humanity. And many countries are in the middle, like India, like Sri Lanka, at the point B. And in this case, this triangle that I mentioned is not properly harmonized. That is why we have this whole curve. So the first path is called green growth. See, when you have to balance three things, sometimes it's difficult. So we start with two. We start with economy and environment. Can we have economic progress without environmental damage? Yes, we have the technologies, we have the know-how to do that. This is called green growth. So for the rich countries, the solution is very obvious. Instead of being up there, they have to come down, right? But they can maintain a very good quality of life while they reduce their material consumption. Use less water, use less energy, less greenhouse gas emissions. We have the technologies to do that. For a country like India, which is in the middle, we do not wasteful example of the rich countries. We don't all go up the path. We have what is called the green growth tunnel. That is what is happening here. You, the young graduates, you will go out into the world, you will find this tunnel so that we can reach the same goal but using much less resources, much less burden on the environment. And we don't stop there. We need the third part of the triangle, the social side. So we look for pro-poor, inclusive green growth paths. That is, we must ensure that the poor receive the benefits of all of this progress. That is what we mean by balanced, inclusive green growth. Socially inclusive, environmentally green, and economic growth. Just to give you an example, for consumption, 1/3 of the world's food production is lost or wasted, right? But yet 800 million people are starving. So if you look at the rich family, this European family in the top panel, they can have the same good consumption, but with less packaging, less waste, right? And that's how we come down the curve, if you can see that. That is their path. This poor family, this is in Africa. For them, there is no question of reducing their consumption. They have to grow, consume more, but along a safer path. That is a different pathway for them. And we can show them that pathway. But this kind of lecturing and studying and doing is not the only way. Now, I would say that the BIGG approach also unlocks innovation in other ways. In 2012, there was another meeting in Rio called Rio Plus 20 World Summit, and I formed with some local musicians a group called Sustaino Musica. What is the purpose of this? It's called the Music of Sustainability. We have hundreds of thousands of people in Facebook and so on, and they are using music to communicate the message of sustainability. So instead of just these lectures like this, which only reaches a small select audience, imagine in the rock concerts and other things, how you can spread this message by using a different medium. And you have the advantage, which we do not have, of social media and other platforms, so use that to spread the message. Education is not only in colleges and universities, it is everywhere. Use the media, and I know you know how to use it. Now let's talk about sustainable production, which is the other side. I've talked to the boards of directors, the CEOs of some of the biggest companies in the world. Sustainability and triple bottom line, they agree, this is the wave of the future. They also like the concept of green growth. Why? Because they are growing, all companies like to grow, but they also like to reduce environmental resource use, for example, reduce energy, which means their costs are less. So when their costs are less, their profits go up. That is known as a win-win policy. You win on the environment side, you win on the economic side. And of course, the third one is more difficult, it's more for the future, that we have to have ethical managers and others who are going to lead these companies in the future. And you can see the list of companies, a huge number. Chemicals, supermarkets, oil and gas, biotech, mining, even wine producers. They all agree that this is the way to go. Now I'll talk to you very briefly about one aspect of sustainable production, which is called value chain life cycle analysis. It's just a fairly straightforward application. Many of you may be familiar. But this is a way of looking at a product, okay? From the production, from raw materials, all the way to consumption by households and disposal and recycling. Now, if you look at tea production, this is for a Sri Lankan industry, this is the greenhouse gas emissions along this life cycle chain. And if you look at raw materials, manufacturing, just transport, retail, consumer use and recycling, 47% of greenhouse gas emissions in the tea industry happens in the retail. Why? Because of all the packaging. For the little few tea leaves inside, you have a lot of packaging and advertising going on. And that is very wasteful of greenhouse gases. So many producers of tea in Sri Lanka who have looked at this study have now produced simpler packages or recyclable packages because of this study. If you look at orange juice that is consumed, let's say in the UK, it is produced in Brazil. Now, the main greenhouse gas emissions in this happens during transport because you have to transport by ship in large containers. So in this case, if you find more efficient way of transporting, shipping, you will reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. So this is called hot spot analysis. For any product in the process chain, if you find what is the most resource intensive stage, then you can focus your engineering and other skills and try to reduce that. And so, the third one is milk production. Also in the UK, you notice that the big blob is in the raw material production. It's in the farmhouse. So if you train the farmers how to be sustainable and run their dairy sustainably, you can reduce the greenhouse gases by a large amount. That is a hot spot. For garments, which was again produced in Sri Lanka, it is the raw materials that have the most greenhouse gases. So this kind of analysis looks very simple-minded, but it's very sophisticated to do, and you can identify the hotspots. You can immediately tell the manufacturers, these are the steps you can take to reduce greenhouse gases. You can do this for water, for energy, for any other resource you want. But keep in mind something called Jevons paradox, which is that in 1865, academician called Stanley Jevons noted that every time you introduce some form of conservation, in his case it was coal conservation, for a short time the use of coal goes down because you're using coal more efficiently, but then after a while it starts going up again. Why? Because people are buying more of that product. So although to produce one item of the product, the consumption of coal was less, people are now buying 10 times more product. So the overall consumption goes up. So what is the point? The point is that you need not only sustainable producers, but also sustainable consumers. If consumption is out of control, if all the advertising tells you buy more and so on, then you can never control resource use. So this is why you have SDG 12, which is called responsible consumption. And you have to have sustainable consumers buying sustainable products, and eventually if you spread that through society, you have sustainable society. Traditional markets for people like me, organic markets, whatever, but also online markets for youth. I know I support several online platforms which have only sustainable products, which are labeled, right? So that's also very important, the consumption side. And digital technology is one of the main tools to achieve the sustainability. I won't go through this, but just to tell you that there are great increases in economic productivity possible. You can reduce natural resource use. For example, I do a lot of my lecturing remotely instead of physically traveling. Of course, I enjoy being here, seeing you in person, but very often, if it is very far in the US or something, I give the lecture via video. So you're saving on resources, right? You reduce the pollution and you facilitate public participation. This is extremely important. You reach more people. There are some risks to digital technology. I won't go through that, but I will have these slides on a public platform you can download and drill down and see some of the details. Now, let's move to the last part of my presentation and why Asia and India in particular have a key role to lead the way to sustainable development and what we call the Earth eco-civilization. You look at the picture on the right. This is the center of gravity. You know what is the center of gravity, okay? How it shifts. How has the economic center of gravity of the planet evolved in the last 2,000 years? In 0 AD, it was mainly somewhere in the Middle East, right? This was the rich areas of the world. By 1950, it moved to the middle of the Atlantic. Why? Because North America and Europe were the rich places. So the center of gravity has shifted. Look in 2000 what has happened. It's moved straight into Asia, it's moving back into Asia. Because of India, because of China, and also Japan. So we have in Asia the leadership skills, we have the economic, social, and environmental resources to lead this sustainability revolution. And we can build strong South-North partnerships, but also East-West. And India has a very key role to play, and you, the young people of India, will be in the forefront. Just look in 2023, Asia Pacific provided 70% of global growth, not the Western countries. China plus India more than 50% of global growth. This is why we have a key role to play and must exercise that right. If you look at STEM graduates like you, China of course leads with 4.7 million. This is in 1 year, 2016. India 2.6 million. US just little over 500,000, okay? So other countries, European, much less. So this is where we are going to lead. And just to tell you, in Sri Lanka, I wrote a report for the President of Sri Lanka called Sustainable Sri Lanka 2030 Vision. And in that, we used BIGG, and we said we need an economy that is prosperous, environment that is green, a society that is peaceful and harmonious. So countries can also develop plans and programs for this sustainable path, but we, the people, must also be participating and empowered to work on this. And let me also mention that engineers can contribute tremendously to sustainability. So modern approaches to engineering go just beyond the dictionary definition. In the dictionary, we are just people who use, design and build and use machines. No, it's more than that. We have to build on a sound engineering base, aspects of sustainability and good governance. So cover economic, social and environmental dimensions, and good governance is extremely important. So the management side comes. Because if you don't have good management, you have losses of production, corruption, unemployment, all of those, environmental degradation. To avoid that, we need the good governance, and engineers have a big role there. It's not the preserve of the state. We don't want to wait for the government to tell us what to do. We have to have our own higher standards, accountability, honesty, and so on. We have to have leadership in building the social consensus. Engineers are not very articulate often. I encourage you to do that. Get out there. You have values and skills which are very important to impart to the people. And just to remind you that there are no good or bad inventions. It all depends on ethics and morality and how we use it. In pre-civilized times, a rock could be used to break open a coconut, okay? But it can also be used or was used to kill another human. In the metal using age, you use metal to build a plow to improve agriculture, but also the sword to warfare. And in the modern age, you have nuclear technology which can produce useful energy or use of nuclear weapon. It's all in your hands, and that is why ethics is extremely important. Now I'm going to show you a very quick video clip to show you why Asia and the global South are going to lead the way to the 21st century. This is an interview I did with the CNN international anchor, Zain Asher, in Miami. It was to an American audience. Maybe some of them didn't like what I said because I said it is the time for us in Asia and the global South to lead, not as you have done in the past, the Western leadership. Can you play a video clip one?
When you think about the sort of, the fact that we're seeing the world order, I guess, recalibrate itself in a way, in a certain sense. I mean, I gave one small example about several members of the Biden administration visiting Africa in such a short space of time. Obviously, they're competing with Russia and China. Sergei Lavrov has been to Africa. I've lost count of how many times in the past few months. What are the implications and the opportunities in a world where it is multipolar and there are multiple spheres of influence, not just one or two.
I think the multipolar world looks more attractive to the global south now. I mean, I cannot speak for the entire global south, okay?
Yes,
But
it's not a monolithic entity.
yes, but the reason is that the existing world order, which has been more, since the Second World War, more unipolar kind of, but Western-led certainly, is not doing too well. There's lots of conflicts, the economies are under threat, poverty is still persistent, and so on. The multipolar world, particularly the emergence of the BRICS countries, gives the global south more hope, and that's why countries of the global south want to join this. This is more on trade, cultural exchange, peaceful economic ties, and so on. I think they're a little tired of 500 or more years of colonial interventions, and these memories are still there in the countries of the global south, and other sort of aggressive interventions, and they want a more balanced world order. Now, there are a lot of opportunities with digital technologies and other new methods, which both have a risk, but also have great promise, and will allow the global south to have a level playing field. They will be equal and respected, have their dignity and self-respect restored. Back to the slides, please. So, this is the global south view. The BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus now many other countries, global south, want peaceful trade and prosperity, self-respect and dignity. We want to focus on issues like sustainability, climate and poverty, not war, not sanctions, and avoid nuclear World War III at all costs, because it will destroy all of humanity. But unfortunately, NATO, a US-led military group, is still pushing the old Western colonial model. That's what happened in the 20th century. So Asia and the global south can show the way forward to peace, prosperity, and sustainability. I have given you 3 recent votes in the UN to do with sanctions on Cuba, sanctions against Russia, and the Gaza situation. In every case, more than 90% of the global population voted on one side, and the West, less than 10% voted on the other side, right? So the South and BRICS are decidedly saying we want a different world from what exists today. And we are part of that. We are going to show that leadership, and you are the young people who are going to be at the forefront. So the old unipolar world, this is called unipolar because it was led by US and to some extent UK, with Europe and allies, less than 15% of the world population. They were more dominant in the 20th century. You had the global south at the bottom, and the views also of the leaders were a little arrogant. For example, the former President Obama said, US is an exceptional nation. What does it mean? US can do whatever it wants, but other people can't. Borrell, Joseph Borrell, who is the chief diplomat of the EU, European Union, made a very undiplomatic statement last year. He said, Europe is a garden, the rest of the world is a jungle. All of the global south were very annoyed. He said, we are not animals living in the jungle, we are your equals. So that is why we are now showing that the BRICS countries, their GDP in purchasing power parity terms, which is an economic measure, is more than the GDP of the G7, the rich countries. And many countries have joined, in 2024, and more countries are going to join in 2025. So the Global South is joining together and is expanding and exerting its influence. And this is the emerging, what we call multipolar world. Multipolar world means everybody is more equal. There is no top person, right? And we are more interested in peaceful economic trade and so on, not so interested in war and sanctions. And a process is going on called de-dollarization, where in the past, all trade was conducted mainly with US dollars. And that caused tremendous problems because some countries did not have enough dollars. Now, trade is conducted in multiple currencies. For example, India has currency swap agreements with Saudi Arabia, with many countries, with Russia, China, and so on. So the whole point is that BRICS and Global South are on equal terms with the Western countries. They may not like it, but the Western countries are not better than us, neither are they worse than us. They are on par. And you, the graduates of Raja Lakshmi, have equal talents and will make equal contributions as the same as graduates from all the biggest schools in the West, whether it's Cambridge or MIT or Harvard or any of the other things. So be very proud of your education and be very confident that you will make a change. Now let me finish with climate change and why this BIGG path is very important. Because this is the reason why we were singled out for the Nobel Prize, because we showed that climate and sustainable development are problems that are integral. They have to be solved together. So in other words, if you want to solve the problem of climate change, you don't try to deal with it by itself. It has to be dealt with as a part of the sustainable development, the BIGG path. And if you look at this diagram, you will see there are two domains, the climate domain and the development domain. Now, human beings, because of their development path, you have the arrow at the bottom, which says human actions cause greenhouse gas emissions. That is disturbing the climate system. So because of that, at the top you have an arrow going back, which says the climate hits back. The temperature will go up, there will be changes in precipitation, the sea level will rise, you have storms and other things. So that is going to cause tremendous problems for human beings. So this is a classic feedback loop. We have to break the loop, right? So there are two filters. You just see the two filters. One is called mitigation. It's very simple. You squeeze the emission arrow. That's why you say use less fossil fuels, more renewable energy, and so on. At the top, you have another filter called adaptation. Adaptation is reducing the impacts, right? So, for example, if you have tremendous storms and hurricanes, you need to build your buildings more safe. You have to have more drainage systems. This is called adaptation. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, climate action is only one of 17, which means that if you have models of the economy, you have to make sure that your climate change in the right-hand corner is properly integrated into agriculture, into your urban development, into energy, transport, and so on. So integration is very important if you want to do it properly. And if you look at adaptation, unfortunately, India and Sri Lanka are among the most vulnerable. What does this mean? That climate change is going to have very hard impacts on us. I was told that there was a tremendous problem with rainfall in Chennai a month ago. I'm not claiming that all of it is due to climate change, but maybe part of it, right? So we are very vulnerable, which means we must protect ourselves, right? And this is some examples from other parts of the world. There's flooding at the top. From China, you will see those cars floating around like dead fish. This is in a city, big city in China. The bottom one is from Canada, which shows before and after. A town was burnt to the ground just because of high temperatures, not because somebody lit a fire, but the temperature was so high that the houses just spontaneously combusted and it burnt down completely, right? Forest fires. So we come now to the issue of climate justice, which is the one I pursue, and that is the fact that the northern countries have done most of the emissions. The southern countries are going to suffer the impacts. And this is a very unfair situation indeed. And basically, the Climate Convention in 1992, UNFCCC, talked about common but differentiated responsibilities. I was one of the delegates who fought for this wording. What does it mean? Common responsibility means everybody on the planet, 8 billion people on the planet, must work together to solve the problem of climate change. But differentiated means that different people have different roles. If you're very poor, you can't do very much about climate change. But if you're rich, you have a responsibility to use resources, your resources, to help. That's very important. And I'll just show you here an example that I gave in this same video interview. Can you play clip 2? Clear. If you accept the principles of equity that every human being is should be on a per capita basis have equal access to emit. If you look from 1850, basically the average emissions per capita from the Western countries far exceed that from the global South. But at the same time, these emissions that are already there are going to cause massive damage to the global South. So that is the issue of climate justice. Now you can do some simple calculations. How much excess emissions has the West used up? And I mean, I did a very simple-minded calculation, and I came up with something like 900 billion tons, which is, roughly speaking, about, say, $40 trillion. This is an environmental debt, which is on ethical considerations. There's nothing legal there, but this is what the Loss and Damage Fund created in the Egypt COP, the COP27, is aiming towards. Now, that 40 or $45 trillion, you compare that with the financial debt of many of the countries of the global South. That's only 10 or 11 trillion dollars. So there's a huge imbalance. I mean, the global South can say, pay us something for the environmental debt and erase the financial debt, which is a recent creation. So there are all kinds of aspects to this climate justice issue, but it's not charity.
The loss and damage aspect is a very important part of it.
It's not charity.
Exactly.
So just to summarize what I said, if we accept that every human being has the equal right to emit, since 1850, the Western countries have emitted much more than the developing countries. And the value of that debt, I estimated roughly $45 trillion. That is 45,000 billion, okay? If you look at the financial debt, because every day the Western countries are talking about how the poor countries owe a lot of money to the banks. How much is that? Maybe 10 to 12 trillion. So it's 1/4 the amount. They owe us, in my view, 4 times more than we owe them. And now, there was a loss and damage fund which was ratified, approved in the recent Conference of Parties, the COP28 in Dubai. what does this loss and damage fund say? It says that all the countries that have contributed to these emissions up there should have a fund which will be used to help the poor who are going to suffer the consequences of those damages, including the flooding of Chennai, okay? Now, 100 million was contributed immediately to this fund by the UAE, which was a very generous contribution. How much did you think the US put? Just 17 million, 17, a pinpoint, and they were the biggest emitter historically. Some European countries, of course, also made some contributions. But so far, the Loss and Damage Fund has $700 million, which to you maybe sound good, but actually it is very small compared to the damage we are going to suffer. But it is the principle that has been accepted, and again in the 21st century, if the Global South pushes, we can ask more for compensation from the Global North. I mean, if they are willing to pay $2 trillion for weapons to kill people, why can't they put up a little more money for climate damage? The second example of climate justice is a more recent example, and I'll tell you, you may not know this, some of you, but there was a pipeline connecting Russia and Germany called Nord Stream. It was taking gas, cheap gas from Russia to Germany. Last year, it was mysteriously, 2 years ago, it was mysteriously blown up. Nobody took responsibility. Now, this is an extreme act of climate terrorism, right? Because that gas pipeline was blown up, huge amount, 40 million tons of CO2 equivalent was released to the atmosphere in 1 or 2 hours. How much is that? This is 2 years worth of emissions from all the people of Sri Lanka. 2 years worth of emissions from Sri Lanka was released to the atmosphere in 2 hours by blowing up the pipeline. Now, nobody from the Global South touched that pipeline. It was all that. So people in the North are blaming each other. Some are saying the US did it, some are saying the Ukraine did it, somebody else did it, and so on. The fact of the matter is, we are going to pay for those emissions. Our children will suffer because of those millions of tons of methane that were put up there. So that is that, but that act of terrorism is not even mentioned in the Western media. But every day you hear about Twin Towers and 9/11 and whatever. So I'm trying to tell you that there's a lot of things going on which you should be aware under climate justice, which should be corrected, and we should be aware of this. Right. I will skip this. There is an example, but we are running out of time. So I'll end with this by telling you, in spite of all my argumentation, there are always surprises. Climate change will bring many surprises. You can have new pandemics, resource shortages, you can have terrorism, conflicts, economic crises, financial meltdown, technological disruption. I talked to you about digital technology. I'm working in some areas of AI applications. Now, there are great benefits, but there could be also great risks. So we must be aware of this, and I think REC and engineers have a key role in building resilience against shocks. We have to survive in a changing world. And I'll give you, to end, a little bit of personal advice. Continuous learning throughout lifetime. If you think you've got your degree and it's all done, no. Just be prepared to continue learning, not necessarily in a classroom. And I would say before trying to harmonize the earth, you need to harmonize yourself. Certainly, you need the work sphere, income, job satisfaction, career, all of that, which you're doing. You're very focused, you're very successful. That's why you're here today. But you also need health, you need fitness, you need sports, maybe music, other things that you want to develop for the body, so that the mind and body are in harmony. But also, you need the social side. Do not neglect your family, your friends as you get older and have children. Make sure that children get their attention. So, the three elements are important to have a balanced personal sustainability triangle, and then you will have a happy and contented sustainable lifestyle. So my final message is optimistic for India and the world. We have many, many problems, but we know the solutions to do this. It's unfortunate that we have not implemented much of these, including Sustainomics, BIGG, and so on, to build a safer and more secure future. We need to transform our governance systems. We need to have business and civil society working with government. And I think engineers can play a key role in devising the new 21st century BIGG path for sustainable development in India and the whole world. I will give you also an ancient Pali blessing from Sri Lanka. It says, may the rains come in time, that is environment. May the harvests be bountiful, which is economy. May the people be happy and contented. May the king be righteous, which is the social. So I'm saying even in ancient times, our ancestors knew about the triangle, economy, environment, society. We are just trying to rediscover it today, and I hope we do successfully. So Stuti, Nandri, thank you. If you want to have more information, look up my website. Thank you very much indeed.
Now I invite Vice Principal to introduce the guest of honor.
Checking. Check. Ms. Subha Kumar is Managing Director of Natation Group and a recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award from IIT Madras. Natation Group is a well-known market leader in the automotive and aerospace industry, catering to OEMs and Tier 1 globally. This group has received the prestigious Technology Development Award from the Government of India and numerous other awards from customers. Prior to joining this establishment, Ms. Subha Kumar has held senior leadership roles in Applied Materials USA. Ms. Subha Kumar has led industries, bodies and various associations. She was also the chairperson of the Southern Region and a National Steering Committee member of Automobile Components Manufacturing Association, ACMA. She was also the president of IIT Madras Global Alumni Association. She holds an MBA from Stanford University and MS from MIT USA and BTech from IIT Madras. Thank you.
I invite the guest of honor, Ms. Subha Kumar, to address the candidates.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for the introduction. Esteemed Chairperson, Mrs. Thangam Meghanathan, Vice Chairman Abhay Meghanathan, esteemed faculty, I'm honored to be part of this graduation ceremony. I have great admiration for Rajalakshmi Engineering College. When the college started, I just started my career. And what I see is you've built a very formidable educational institution focused on quality education and producing excellent graduates who've gone on to do great things in India and the world. So I think this is represented by the excellent rankings that Rajalakshmi Engineering College has received, as well as the preference of the students. Ultimately, students are voting with their feet, getting onto Rajalakshmi as a preferred choice. Your focus on innovation and entrepreneurship for 2024 is truly the right focus, given that the country needs to become a $5 billion economy in 5 years. I think entrepreneurship is going to be the path to be there. And it's inspiring to see that the leadership at REC is focusing on innovation, learning, and adopting to the latest technologies. You're not just preaching to the students, you're also integrating them into your process of delivering the education. So hearty congratulations to you. To our Nobel laureate, Professor Mohan Munasinghe, it's a very tough act to follow after you. You've covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover, so in any case, as a fellow MIT alumnus, I'm honored to have you amongst our midst. And your speech was a true inspiration for me, and I'm sure for the students as well. I also congratulate the parents and the family and friends of the graduating students. You've really been a pillar for your wards who are here in the front, about to receive their degree certificates. Without your support, they wouldn't be where they are today. Now, coming to the most important stars of the day, my dear friend, my dear graduating students, it's my great pleasure to be here. I think we are here today, it's a very momentous occasion because we are here to celebrate your hard work, your perseverance, and your dedication to getting to where you are. We are here to celebrate you. Hearty congratulations. So when I graduated from IIT Madras with a BTech many years ago, I was one of 7 women in the graduating class. It's very heartening to see a very good gender mix right here in the audience. I've since been able to go to very good institutions, MIT, Stanford, and become an entrepreneur in an automotive industry which is traditionally male dominated. But I think education is a big leveler, and it removes a number of the barriers that we have, and today I think the world is far more supportive of women, and I think it's a fantastic opportunity. There are no restrictions for you in terms of academic or in professional excellence that you can reach. I've seen the transition that's happened in technology during when I started at IIT. I think that's when the punch card system-based computers were being phased out and the personal computers had come in. I personally didn't work with the punch card system, but I think it's a huge transformation. For us to get access to a personal computer, we had to book a time slot and we needed to, enter it in manually. But today, all of you have such powerful computers on your phone. It's so powerful that you could do phenomenal amounts of computing there. But technology has come a long way. And like we do, today we're interacting with the computers like we do with fellow human beings. I think the power of artificial intelligence and the things to come are just truly amazing. So I think you're having a very exciting world that you're graduating into. And when we graduated, I think we had far less choice than you do today. Lot of choice also means that you have a lot of opportunity to choose from. But we need to be very careful as we make this choice, balance between what's available and what you need. And so it's important that you maintain your individuality and know what you really want and make your professional choices accordingly. These are really exciting times, and really you can take advantage of them. As you embark on this journey into the real world, let me share with you 2 things, just 2 things that I've learned that I follow in my life. First, if we aim for the stars, if we fail, at least we will reach the moon. But for fear of failure, if we don't even try, we will not reach anywhere. So I encourage you to take measured risks and don't be worried about failure. Failure is a phenomenal learning tool. and we can learn more from our failures than we can from our successes. So just to link it to, this is nice and easy to talk about, so I'm linking it to my experience. I graduated in metallurgy from IIT. My master's thesis was on silicon germanium nanostructures for the world of quantum computing. Today it's become a reality, but we were working on it back in the day. And on completing my master's, I moved to India to work in the manufacturing sector. Nothing in my academic experience really prepared me for it. I think in the early days, it was literally like learning from a fire hose. During my years at Stanford, I started a business to bring green, organic, and sustainable products. But we didn't have the likes of Professor Munasinghe back then to encourage such businesses. And it was way ahead of market, and no one was willing to pay for it. This was in the 2000 time frame during the dot-com era. We integrated great technology, but the market was not right for it. As they say in Silicon Valley, you know, the true test of an idea is, will the customer actually pay for it and use it? So these are very important lessons that I use even today. And I moved to applied materials, and I worked in the semiconductor sector. Also, they make semiconductor capital equipment. We are involved in the software, flat panel display market, services, and today I work in the automotive and the aerospace industries. All these seem like very disparate experiences, while these seem completely unrelated. The common thread for me was following my passion and enjoying the journey and learning a ton along the way. I think Professor Munasinghe's example is very amazing. He was doing solid-state physics, electrical engineering, and then moved to development economics, and impact across the spectrum, and being able to straddle the engineering along with the liberal arts is amazing. So I think my message here is aim high, take measured risk, learn from your mistakes, and it's important to enjoy the journey. Don't worry about the destination, and the results will follow. The second thing, in business we say what you measure is what you manage, and that's what you can improve. So the next thing I want to talk about is success. So we all want to be successful. So what is success in life, and how do we measure it? So as you stand today at the threshold of your future, this question isn't just a philosophical one. It's deeply personal and practical. So let's explore that today, not just as graduates, but as architects of our future. So traditionally, success is about wealth, title, accolades, but I encourage you to take a little more holistic view, viewed in terms of your life, not just your career. To me, success isn't just in the patents you file or the businesses you build or in the non-profits you create, but in the lives you touch and the person you become in the process. Personal growth is one of those elements. It's a process of understanding yourself and pushing yourself to reach the highest potential of the person you can be and you really want to be. Be it in health, your learning, humility, whatever those may be. I want you all to be healthy so that you can contribute to yourself, your family, to the world, and to the whole world to the fullest. Proper food, exercise, and grounding are some of the things habitualized earlier is better. My message is not going to be very different from Professor Munasinghe here. Understand that your degree is just a starting point. Life is a very long journey, and today's technology will become obsolete tomorrow. So when Edison invented the light bulb, 10 years ago we had the CFL lamps. Today we buy LEDs instead. So if we are just going to be an expert of CFL lamps, then we'll be irrelevant in today's world. So it's very important for us to continue a lifelong learning, and the learning never ends. Make this a part of your daily habit. And the next part is, I urge you to reflect on your core values, how these should guide your decisions and actions. life puts us in front of us many tantalizing things that don't seem illegal or unethical at the first glance. But trust me, it is a slippery slope. The first deviation from your values seem like a small one, and it's very easy to, accommodate that slight deviation. But the next time the same thing comes up, it gets repeated, and the next time and the next time. So we very quickly go down this slippery slope. So I'm not telling you that it's very easy to follow your value system. It is very, very hard. And from my own personal experience, we've had to walk away from some big opportunities because we were not willing to compromise on our values. But I can tell you, in the long run, it's paid back, and paid back multifold in terms of the reputation in the market that one can hold. So do not compromise on your integrity. While we are in our quest for professional success, let's remember our relationships with family and friends. They are the source of our enduring happiness. Life is too short, so make the best use of your time. It's not how much time you spend with them, but it's the quality of time you can spend. Being present in the moment, not looking at our cell phones when somebody is talking to us and so on. In my experience, there's no perfect balance in family and accomplishments and so on, but it's a juggle. But ensuring that the various aspects of life get prioritized depending on the need of the hour. Lastly, I encourage you to envision the kind of impact you want to have on the world, whether it's in engineering, business, non-profit, or in your personal lives. When I was younger, I used to think how my little actions can make a difference to the world and wait around for the right opportunity to give back. What I've realized is that the size and scale of your impact is not so important. It could just impact one person, the community, or even the whole world, but it does not matter. I've seen good actions create a multiplier effect. The person who benefits feels that he or she can do something good and pays it forward. So I urge everyone not to wait until you think you can make a significant difference, but do the small things you can do every day. If each of us can do our small piece, together we can make the world a much better place to live in. As we embark on this journey of your life, take the time to reflect on this question. Your answers may change. What does our success look like and how do we measure it? But if you repeatedly ask this question through your journey, I'm sure it will guide you in the right direction. Once again, I thank the management of Rajalakshmi Engineering College for inviting me here and giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Wishing you all a bright future. God bless. Thank you.
I invite the Dean Academics to present the rank holders to receive the medals and prizes.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person from various departments who have been certified by the Academic Council to be duly qualified as the rank holders of the institution. In Aeronautical Engineering, first rank Nitya R. Second rank Divya Darshini. Third rank Prasad. Automobile Engineering, first rank Karthik S. Second, Karthik. Third rank, Subhash. Lily, please. In biomedical engineering, first rank Nityasri. Second rank Harini. Third rank Sarmia. In biotechnology, first rank Rajalakshmi. Second rank Susant Raghavendra. Third rank Trisha. Fourth rank Soumya Narayana Sridhar. In chemical engineering, first rank Srinivas Raghavan. Second rank Kirtana. Third rank Lakshmana Narayanan. In civil engineering, first rank Suganti, second rank Pritiv, third rank Yogasri. In computer science engineering, first rank Pooja. Third rank Sakti. Fourth rank Pritisha. Fifth rank Kavya. Sixth shared by two members, Darnish Ram, Harihar. ECE department, first rank Saravanan, second rank Sheshapriya, third rank Mahalakshmi, fourth rank Jabita, fifth rank shared by Bharatraj Harita. Electronics Engineering, first rank Lokesh, second rank Akash Maitriyan, third rank Suganesh Subramaniam, and fourth rank Syed Zabullah. Technology, first rank Anand, second rank Priya, third rank Vijayashree. Information Technology, first rank Swati, second rank Loshini, third rank Sandini, Mechatronics, first rank Aravind, second rank Nirmala Raj, third rank Karthik. Mechanical, first rank Balaji, second rank Hariharan, third rank Udayamurthy, fourth rank Prem, fifth rank Srinivasan, sixth rank Ram Prasad. graduate, MBA, Priyadarshini, first rank, second rank, Vilasi Veda, Angelina, third rank, Sivasankari. MTech Biotechnology, first rank Karishma, second rank Anubama, third rank Vaigasri. In MA Engineering Design, first rank Lokesh. In MTech Data Science, first rank Sam Dinesh. Thank you.
Let the candidates be presented by the HODs.
Hello. Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Aeronautical Engineering who have been certified by, after examination, to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University.
the candidates in person in the Department of Automobile Engineering who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University.
Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Biomedical Engineering who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, B. Biomedical Engineering.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Biotechnology who have been certified by, after examination, to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, BTech Biotechnology.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Chemical Engineering who have been certified by, after examination, to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, BTech Chemical Engineering.
Department of Civil Engineering who have been certified by, after examination, to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, BE Civil Engineering.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering who have been certified by, after examination, to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, BE Computer Science and Engineering.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University. BE Electronics and Communication Engineering,
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, BE Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Technologies.
person in the Department of Food Technology who have been certified by after the examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University, BTech Food Technology. M.Tech Data Science. Thank you. I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Mechanical Engineering who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University. The candidates who have been BE Mechanical Engineering. Engineering Design.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Mechatronics Engineering who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degree of Anna University in BE Mechatronics Engineering.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the candidates in person in the Department of Management Studies who have been certified after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degree of Anna University, Master of Business Administration.
Mr. Principal, I present unto you the following candidates to get the PhD degree of the Anna University. Mr. Sendil Rajan. Mr. Kanish Anand. Mr. Chinnaswamy Subramaniam. Mrs. Sudha. Mr. Raghul Krishnan. Mr. Shyam. Mrs. Shirley Nisha. Mrs. Deepa. Ms. Kanagavalli.
Mr. Principal, under the laws of the university, I present unto you in absentia the following number of candidates who have been certified by after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees of Anna University in the respective departments. 224 candidates to receive the degrees in absentia. Thank you.
All the graduates, stand up please. Pledge. We shall in thought, word and deed, ever endeavor to be scrupulously honest in the discharge of our duties in our profession, and shall uphold the dignity and integrity of our profession and the honor of our university. We shall uphold and advance social order and the well-being of our fellow members, and shall devote all our energy to promote unity, integrity, and the secular ideal of our country. I, the principal of Rajalakshmi Engineering College, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit you to the several degrees for which you have been declared qualified, and in token whereof I permit you to wear the academic robes ordained as the insignia of your degrees. I dissolve this graduation ceremony. National Anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब से